Welcome to another movie plot and enjoy the memories. It begins with a trailer for a fake sequel where the ex-Federale agent Machete Cortez is on a new mission in space. Joined by the Cycloptic Resistance leader Luce, we're shown other actors that'll appear in the film and get told that the robots Justin Bieber and Leo DiCaprio's The Man in the Silver Mask, though that one's subject to change. The real movie begins with a team of American soldiers arriving at the Mexico border ready to sell a bunch of weapons to the cartel. Machete shows up with his immigration and customs enforcement girlfriend Sartana to capture them before the gang can arrive, but they're too late. The cartel leader executes the captain before his men shoot all of the remaining soldiers, leaving the famous Machete alive so that he can kill him himself. He's suddenly shot dead from a helicopter as another group wearing luchador masks show up and kill all of the local cartel. Machete and Sartana split up where the legend proves to be immune to electricity and Sartana inspects a large missile being sold by the military. Just then the luchador leader walks up and without saying anything shoots Sartana in the head, killing her and leaving her body to be found by Machete. He allows him to live for whatever reason and Machete takes the fall for his girlfriend's murder, getting him strung up in the local police station by the racist Sheriff Doakes. He isn't able to hang the strong-necked Machete, who just swings staring at him until the phone rings, and on the other end's the president telling the sheriff to release him. He needs the best killer in the world and informs Machete that a Mexican revolutionary Mendez plans to launch a missile at Washington unless they can stop him. He grants Machete U.S. citizenship and encourages him to do it for his country before sending him to Texas to meet his handler. Beauty pageant winner Miss San Antonio Blanca Vasquez introduces herself and shows off her arsenal of weaponry, including a 3-bladed machete. She briefs her agent on a woman named Cereza who can help him find Mendez before saying that she wants to experience the legend of the machete herself. In the morning, Vasquez flies Machete over the border and he parachutes into Acapulco to find Cereza in a bordello. Her mother's the Madame Desdemona, who orders her Lieutenant Killjoy and the other girls not to give out any freebies today. When the stranger requests to speak with Cereza, her mother agrees but suddenly returns firing a gun, so Machete disarms her. He also blocks her nip knives, and before the other girls arrive he runs upstairs into a room where Cereza pulls her gun on him. When hearing he's going after Mendez, she willingly goes with Machete and the two leap out a window as Killjoy enters and misses all of her shots. They escape from Desdemona, who feels like Machete just got away with a freebie, and the pair wait on a dock until morning for a lift. A man arrives named Zara to take them to meet Mendez and they travel by helicopter to reach his secluded fortress. He says that his boss sends a message and then shoots Cereza dead in front of Machete before throwing her body out of the chopper. When they arrive at Mendez's base, Machete's shown a missile that the terrorist plans to fire at Washington and has the trigger wired to his heartbeat. Machete escapes the guards and grabs Mendez as a hostage, and when he approaches, shreds Zara with his triple blade to the stomach. He gets away but Mendez pulls a trigger, leaving only 24 hours before the missile launches, so Machete knocks him out and puts him on his chopper. A badly bleeding Zara returns and fights bravely until Machete throws his intestine into the helicopter blades, pulling him in. Machete then flies Mendez to the border to find someone in America capable of disabling the device, but 2 revolutionaries shoot them out of the sky. He leaps out with Mendez and lands on the boat below, where he kills one man the same way as Zara by pulling him into the crashing chopper's propellers. Machete then jumps out into the water after first directing the boat at the docks, causing it to flip and slide backwards over a group of henchmen. Once on land, Mendez's personality switches and he has no recollection of the trigger on his heart and is distraught at the news that he had Cereza killed. A Mexican radio station's forced to announce a $20 million contract to whoever kills Machete, which is heard by everyone including Doakes and the man he's just hung. Elsewhere in Mexico, the notorious hitman known as the Camaleon enters a bar only to kill all of the patrons on his way out. He removes his mask to reveal a new disguise, but when he leaves, a pair of lost tourists see his face, so he shoots both dead while apologizing. He steals their vehicle when receiving a notice about the hit on Machete, so he pulls over to fuel up and ask for directions. The old attendant has no clue, so the Camaleon kills him before noticing a security camera captured his face and he'll need to change it. He peels it back into the disguise of a female this time before dressing appropriately and returning to the hunt for Machete. He's currently at a restaurant with Mendez, but everybody recognizes them and local police officer Chepo attempts to arrest him. When he calls Mendez crazy, he reverts into his madman persona and beats Chepo into a pulp before Machete finishes him off. The police arrive, so Machete cuts his way through some brave staff members and gas lines to escape out the back with Mendez as the restaurant explodes. They go to a clinic to treat Mendez's wound, and one of Desdemona's girls sees them and contacts her while she's in the middle of beating a client. Killjoy tells her about Machete's location, so she strangles the poor man to death before they go down to the clinic to avenge her daughter. He hears them enter, so he puts blood bags in a microwave so that as the girls walk in, it explodes, covering them head to toe. Desdemona whips out her machine gun jubblies to fire at Machete, but he shocks her with a defibrillator, launching her across the room. He escapes in an ambulance with Mendez, who's returned to his normal self, and tells Machete that he was never in the cartel but was Mexico's first secret agent. He planned to end corruption in the country, but his crooked supervisor betrayed him and made him watch his wife and daughter killed, which is what sent him crazy. His split personality killed all of them and joined forces with the arms dealer Luther Voss to start their own revolution against the government. The pair continue until the car breaks down and they need to visit a chop shop where the wheelchair-bound owner says that their armored vehicle's not for sale. Suddenly a group of men arrive and the owner tries pull a gun on Machete, who shoots the man's oxygen tank, sending him into the assassin's line of fire and getting him blown up with a rocket. Machete and Mendez then escape in the armored car, and with only a mile until the border, the Camaleon arrives in Desdemona soon after. The armored car absorbs all of the damage while Machete throws an explosive blade into Desdemona's van, forcing the girls to leap out as it blows up. Camaleon crashes into the van as Desdemona runs out of bullets with her bra and switches to a groin gun, but Machete escapes, leaving the girl stranded. Approaching the border wall, Mendez informs Machete about a secret tunnel that allows them to go under it and gain access to the United States. Doakes soon shows up with his deputy to claim the bounty, but Mendez reacts by throwing a blade, cutting off his hand and killing both of them in an instant. The group of masked men arrive, being led by Zarer, who cuts down Mendez while his men fill Machete full of bullets. He wakes up inside a regeneration pool at Voss Tech Industries, where the President Luther keeps Mendez's heart beating in a jar. He takes Machete on a tour in a landspeeder while explaining that he's built a rocket that'll bring a select few people into space to escape the apocalypse that he's the one causing. Additionally, he's created high-tech weaponry, including an electric machete and multiple genetically enhanced Zarer clones that he tests him against. After Machete dismembers the three, Luther explains that he wants to use the Mexicans' blood to create a new batch of clones, but gets turned down as there's only one Machete. He uses a telescope and air tank as a rocket launcher, but Luther just steps it and shoots back at Machete, who avoids the gunfire and escapes in the landspeeder. He's cornered by security at an electric fence, but Machete took a molecule disabler which he uses to disintegrate the henchmen and fuse others with their vehicle. A helicopter arrives and Machete uses a grappling hook to latch onto the blades and behead some more henchmen before getting in the chopper with Luz. She takes him back to the network headquarters, where she reveals that Mexican laborers have been getting abducted mysteriously and presumes it's by Luther. The man who killed Machete's brother's also there, begging him for forgiveness, who only lets Osiris live because they need his expertise in disarming the bomb. Machete is then contacted by his handler, who asks him to meet her nearby, so Luz goes to watch his back from her taco truck. She's betrayed the Machete to Luther in exchange for becoming Miss Texas, but before they can take him in, Luz intervenes and a shootout ensues. Miss SA tries to escape but is chased down by Machete, who stabs the driver through the roof before being flung off into the desert. He wakes up hours later needing to hitchhike back to civilization, but is picked up by a friendly truck driver who reveals himself to be the Camaleon. While making his target dig his own grave, he explains that after escaping his crash as a female, he was able to hail a truck, kill its driver, and assume his current identity. He gets distracted in his story while Machete digs up a tunnel filled with border jumpers and uses it to slip away before the Camaleon even notices. When attempting to find him again, he runs into a group of border patrolling rednecks who don't believe he's not an illegal and shoot the legendary Hitman dead. Machete uses a different exit from the tunnel and staggers back to the network, where nurses Lisa Mona and Fine assist in patching him up. Luz then addresses all of them on Luther's plan, and with only a few hours until he launches the missile, the resistance plans to stop him. Dressing up as the Help, they sneak into a party thrown at Voss Tech Industries for the people set to join Luther in space. During his toast, the Machete reveals to the crowd that their benevolent leader plans to destroy the world himself, forcing Luther to take them all hostage and unleash the henchmen. A gunfight begins in the main hall, in which Zarer's last remaining clone is dodging everyone's bullets until Luz shoots him. Machete brings Osiris to Mendez's still beating heart when Luther shows up and shoots it before pointing the molecule disabler at Machete. Osiris sacrifices himself to save Machete, who escapes to the armory, but he finds the luchador mask worn by the man who killed Sartana. He realizes that it was Luther who pulled the trigger, and after he picks up a katana, they begin to have a sword fight. Meanwhile, Luz runs out of bullets, and before she can switch weapons, she's shot in the other eye by Miss SA and left completely blind. San Antonio follows, but even without eyes, the revolutionary still manages to defeat her, prompting her to pull a gun. After crotch punching it out of her hand, Miss SA throws her crown, but Luz catches it and throws it back into her chest before finishing her off with a shot to the head. Luther gains the upper hand in their fight and is about to kill Machete, but the hero grapples a flamethrower to spit fire on his face. Horribly disfigured, he survives and puts on the silver mask before ushering the rich people along with Mexican captives onto the rocket. Luther then finds Luz wandering around and freezes her in carbonite before loading her onto the rocket and evacuating Earth with everyone else. Machete jumps on the missile just before it takes off and follows Osiris's directions, disarming it over a river and safely landing in the water. He's dragged out by the Secret Service and the President, who thanks Machete for saving everyone but gives him the new mission of traveling to space to kill Luthor. Machete immediately agrees to save the hostages and goes to SpaceX, where he uses one of Musk's rockets to take him into space. We're shown clips of the next movie, Machete Kills Again in Space, in which the President joins them and the man in the silver mask is about to kill Luce before we're left with a cliffhanger. And the movie ends.